Weather versus climate. Weather is a condition of an atmosphere at a specific place in time. Can change within minutes or hours. Climate. Climate is a general pattern of weather in a certain area over a long period of time. Average weather over many years in a specific place. There are 5 factors affect weather, but now we focus what is 5 factors affect the climate. This is the latitude, altitude, distance of water, topography, and ocean currents. And now let's identify how this affect the climate.
In grade 7, you have learned that the Earth's axis is not perpendicular to the plane of its orbit. The shape of the Earth resulted in the uneven heating of the Earth's surface. The equator receives much of the radiant energy released by the sun, so places near the equator have warm climates. The areas closer to the poles receive less amount of heat because the angle of sunlight becomes smaller. You have noticed that most of the sun's rays strike vertically in places near the equator. This makes the temperature higher in these areas, resulting in warm climates. Places that are not always vertically hit by the sun's rays experience cold climate. As the latitude increases, the smaller the angle of the sun's rays strike the surface. Therefore, when the area is farther from the equator, the air temperature is lower. When the place is closer to the equator, the air temperature is higher.
There are 5 factors that greatly affect the climate, and one of them is altitude. What is altitude? Altitude is the height or elevation above sea level. And how can it affect the climate? Because of air pressure. You see, the air around us has weight and it presses everything it touches. And that pressure is called atmospheric pressure or air pressure. There are also 2 reasons why air molecules is greater above sea level. It is because of gravity and density. And as the air molecules crashes into each other, it produces heat, and that makes the sea level warmer. But as the height increases, temperature decreases because air molecules have fewer collisions, which means it produces less heat, and thus it makes height inversely proportional to temperature.
Bodies of water. The sea affects the climate of a place. Coastal areas are cooler and wetter than inland areas. Clouds form when warm air from inland areas meet cool air from the sea. The century of continents are subject to a large range of temperatures. In the summer, temperatures can be very hot and dry as moisture from the sea evaporates before it reaches the century of the land mass. Large bodies of water, such as oceans, seas, and large lakes affect the climate of an area. Water heats and cools more slowly than land. Therefore, in the summer, the coastal regions will stay cooler and in winter warmer. A more moderate climate with a smaller temperature range is created. If there are no bodies of water to moderate the climate, the same condition follow as with vast flat plains. The climate condition is continental with more extreme temperatures, a large moisture, and less precipitation.
Topography of Earth. The windward side, as the prevailing wind faces through one direction that comes from a body of water. As the moist air rises, clouds forms through the condensation of the water vapor. And as more water vapor condenses, it will gonna be heavy enough and water would eventually fall to the ground as rain, and precipitation happens. The climate in this region is cool and wet and has low temperature. On the other hand, the wind is blocked by a mountain. As the warm moist air continues to rise, the temperature decreases. It is because the elevation or the altitude. The cold air moves down because it is more dense towards the opposite side, the leeward side. The cold air starts to absorb heat and it will become warm and dry.
So what is the causes of climate change? Well, to know that, let us first know what is climate. Climate is a long-term pattern of weather in a particular area. In general, weather over a long period of time. Now you know what is climate, let us go back to the question. What is the main causes of climate change? Well, the main causes of climate change are the human activities. We are the top contributor that causes climate change, such as burning fossil and farming livestock.
Ocean currents are giant rivers of water that are found in the oceans.
It is caused by the Earth's rotation, flow of wind, salinity, and temperature. There are two types of ocean currents, the warm ocean currents and the cold ocean currents. So you clip on how does it work. How does the cold ocean currents transport at the polar region and the cold ocean currents transport at the equatorial region? Warm ocean currents originate at the equator that transports warm water to south and north at higher latitude. Cold ocean currents originates at higher latitude in the north and the south. It transports cold water at lower latitude or the equator. This is the equatorial region, and these two are the polar region. The equatorial region transports warm water at the polar regions, which makes the temperature in there not too low. The temperature in there is not too low, not too cold. Now, same goes for the polar regions too. They transport cold water at the equatorial region, which makes the equatorial region's temperature is not too warm because of the cold water that the polar region transports at the equatorial region. So, the movement of the ocean currents in the Earth makes Earth a habitable place to live in. We have more places that has a comfortable temperature for us human beings.
The greenhouse effect. Did you know when fossil fuels are burnt, they release large amounts of carbon dioxide into the air? Solid waste contributes to greenhouse gas emissions since they produce methane, which highly absorbs heat and traps it into the Earth's atmosphere. Deforestation highly affects this either, since trees and plants are main ingredients to produce oxygen and absorbs carbon dioxide. They lessen the amount of carbon dioxide surrounding us. What is greenhouse effect? The greenhouse effect is the way in which heat is trapped close to Earth's surface by greenhouse gases. These heat-trapping gases can be thought of as a blanket wrapped around Earth, keeping the planet toastier than it would be without them. The Earth's temperature highly increases as we do things that could increase its temperature, just like burning, deforestation, or riding a jeepney, since this is part of daily lives. These greenhouse gases, bad or good? Greenhouse gases traps the sun's heat in the atmosphere, but then this process makes Earth much warmer than it would be without. The Earth will be filled with ice caps and freezing and cold. Greenhouse gases is not bad. Greenhouse gases will turn into bad due to our human activities. What will happen to us if we keep things like this? What will happen to our next generations? It will only lead to extinction. Because of the high temperature of the Earth, glaciers and ice caps slowly melting year by year. If this continues to happen, rising of the sea level will be possible. What should we do to reduce the amount of greenhouse effect? Switch to a manual or electric lawnmower. You'll save in gas and put less pollution in the air. Buy local products to reduce fuel used from transporting goods. Compost leftover fruits, vegetables, and yard waste. Recycle as much possible and plant your own vegetable garden. It will help each other in our environment. We need to reduce the effects of greenhouse gases in the environment. Human activities and human interventions are the main cause that we are experiencing the change in our environment. We are building our own problem since we need to find the conclusion in our problem. And that is the greenhouse effect.
Well, there's a will, there's a way, kinda beautiful. And every night has a state so magical. And if there's love in this identity of all the vulnerable. In every loss, all the bones of a miracle. For every dreamer, a dream we're unstoppable. With something to believe in. Monday left me broken. Tuesday I was through with hoping. Wednesday my empty arms were open. Thursday waiting for love, waiting for love. Thank the stars it's Friday. I'm burning like a fire gone wild on Saturday. Guess I won't be coming to church on Sunday. I'll be waiting.